Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, not much happened. Bitcoin has taken the weekend off. Maybe we'll see a little bit more action next week. But to be honest, Bitcoin is just in a bit of a sideways consolidation. That is not bearish. That's just part of the current structure. And these sideways corrections are important, as this one down here was, as this one down here was, these kind of consolidations, very, very important, especially after quite an aggressive increase. Remember, after we bottomed here in this wave 4, around the 21st, 22nd of November, the price did move up around about 26%. That's quite a lot also for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is less volatile than many altcoins. So it just needs some time to correct the structure. So just be aware of that. And therefore, it just needs this kind of sideways consolidation. To be honest, most of the altcoins have obviously been moving up. Yeah, a lot of them, some quite impulsively. Therefore, this should not really matter so much, and the whole market remains extremely, extremely interesting. So only look at the short term, because yesterday we looked at the daily and also the weekly time frames. So nothing changed there, obviously. Here in the short term, we still have our support at 40,400. Absolutely no change. I think we might see a little bit more action around the weekly candle close, as it's often the case. But there is still a lot of space, and Bitcoin can't even get into the support area. So at the moment, the potential is that the wave 4 bottomed here. Yeah, that is one idea, and then we would be moving up in an ending diagonal to the upside. So how would that look like? So a wave 5, next wave up would be a wave 5. That's an ending diagonal. If it works out from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this ending diagonal, it's likely going to be some kind of a price channel, and this wave 2 low needs to hold, and that is at around 43,104. A break below that level definitely makes it more likely that we are coming down in this C wave. To be honest, the invalidation point for the diagonal is at 42,930 roughly. Yeah. Actually, 40, no, where are we? Let me just double check that. Now it's more like 42,870. Okay, that's the invalidation point for the direct pathway in a diagonal. It can also be here the orange ABC structure. So just showing you different pathways, right? It doesn't really matter so much which way it takes in the very short term, because it's sort of unpredictable anyway. Within corrections, you need to know they can always morph and transform. The situation here isn't entirely clear yet if we really look at the subwave structure. The reason is very simple. In Elliott Wave, we need to see 5 waves into a certain direction to confirm a trend. So for example, here I showed you that move up, and this should be a 5-wave move. If this was an impulse, this 5-wave move here, then we could say with greater clarity, probably the move up is continuing, but it's only a 3-wave move. So it can be a diagonal, but then it could also just be a high B wave. So it doesn't give me that clarity. Therefore, I just show you some pathways. For example, here, it could be a high B wave, or the diagonal has started. Again, below 43,090 roughly. I assume we're coming down in the C wave already now. It's showing some weakness today, and it broke below the trend line. But that's not enough confirmation to say the C wave is definitely playing out, because to be honest, the move down looks extremely corrective. Yeah? But I gave you a key level to watch, and don't be surprised if it dips back into support. It's not predictable, but it's also not a surprise, okay? Some of you sent me a message and said, look, on Binance, the price already dipped into the support area. I looked at it. So I first checked other exchanges. So for example, Coinbase, there is no wick down there, okay? No wick that sent us into support. Well, let's double check the previous thingy. Here it starts at 42,514, okay? Coinbase's price came down to, basically 42,860. Then we've got the Binance chart. Here we have that dip, all the way down to 40,275. Not sure what that was, but it certainly is not reliable and has nothing to do with mass sentiment. So I am ignoring this. Also because I don't see it on any other exchange. Okay, so that's when we tend to ignore these wicks. Normally we don't, but when there is something completely out of the norm, we are not going to cover it and include it, because essentially Elliott Wave, look here also on Kucoin, nothing. Essentially it's all about mass sentiment, and on the Tether chart on Binance also not. So we can definitely ignore this. Does it matter? No, because it wouldn't have invalidated anything anyway. And it was also not a sustained break below 40,400. It doesn't make sense to count such a wick really as part of a wave 4, okay? Especially if you see it only on one exchange. So that's one of the problems with crypto. Sometimes it's a little bit like the Wild West, especially with all these different exchanges. Essentially, you cannot predict in the beginning how a corrective pattern will unfold. I can only share with you that this entire movement looks corrective, which definitely favors trend continuation higher, ideally in this fifth wave, as long as we're holding micro support at 40,400. These are the key Fibonacci levels that we need to be watching: 42,515, 41,330, and 40,400. Only below that level, I have to assume that already this larger degree third wave topped, and we're coming down in a wave 4 before we continue the trend, which is be a larger pullback in a still unfolding uptrend. Also here, no change, but Bitcoin cannot even get into the first support area, which is crazy. So from that point of view, nothing really changed. Also, this could even turn into some kind of a triangle. There are many forms that this can take, but we don't have enough waves to confirm a triangle. From a triangle point of view, we would call that a running triangle. But again, we don't have enough waves. So it would be A wave, then an overshooting B wave. C wave needs to stay above the A wave low, then a D wave and an E wave. And we can continue the path higher without any significant pullbacks. So yeah, there are many options here. It's not so much important, as I often say, to understand what kind of corrective pattern plays out. It's more important to understand if the actual support level is holding. Okay, that's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Today, we talk about the topic of, has the alt season started or is it on the horizon? That's one of the topics that we cover in today's member live stream at 5 p.m. UTC. If you want to participate, check out the membership. Links are in the video description. And yeah, have a great Sunday. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.